Hello, Big Friends of Plush here, back from another video. Today we have the X-Smart Global Withered Foxy plush review. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is part of the X-Smart line. There's like two currently released. There's Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy. And October 27th, the day FNAF movie releases, is the release of Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica, probably the more sought after ones. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so starting off with the tag, it just says X-Smart Global. You have Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy, Withered Bonnie, and Withered Chica. X-Smart Global with some, texturing. Then flipping this over, you have, a thank you note. Then we have this weird, I guess AI-inspired edit, I guess. It's very strange. I don't know how to describe it. And it says, collect me and my friends. And on the back, it's an adult note. It says, please remove packaging attachments before giving plush to a child. Hand wash only. Then on the tush tag, it says Withered Foxy, manufactured by that company. And it says X-Smart Global. Alright, so starting off with the plush's body. As you can see here, you have two silver feet. And I will say this thing's really stuffed. So it's like really stuffed. You have a brown pants. And you have a silver / light gray outlining. And you have a bright light endo with some damage around it. Like, these are two separate pieces. Like, this is a separate piece and that's a separate piece, because like it goes all the way around. It's like it's all embroidered in. I will say this does attract a lot of dust, hair, etc. But yeah, like, it has the endo in the back, it has the endo up front, it has all the accurate detailings for the damage. On the torso and arms, you have his robotic hand, and you have his hook hand with the hook, of course. Have some more damaging right here on the arms. I don't think there's any damaging on the back for the arms. Nope, there's not. So this is basically the original Foxy, I would say, just a little bit modified. Alright, so with Withered Foxy's head, it's basically the Funko style one, except it has like the sideburns on the side have like a different, different shape. It's, instead of it being like two, it's one. And you do have that dog nose, but it's in a really like rough texture. Like, it's more of a matte and it has like speckles on it. Then you have the teeth, which is both in white. Then you have the muzzle, which is in a light flesh pinkish color. Have some damaging on the side of the head that's embroidered on. Same with the left eye, with some more damage embroidered and crocheted on. Then you have the eye patch, which is just a complete eye patch. Mostly it doesn't go all the way around, but it goes halfway through the head. Then you have a yellow eye, black pupil, and then yellow shine, which is all embroidered on. And you have a softer plastic, I would say, or just stuffing for the eye. Then you have the eyelid embroidered on, same with the top, thing off at an angry angle. I don't really know how to describe it. Alright, so you can see it up here, but like, I'm gonna get to that really quickly. Alright, this thing's extremely hard to move in my light box. You can see here the ear inside of it has printing, which is kind of a cop-out on X-Smart's part, but it's really well hidden if you do it the right way. But like, if you do it like this, it looks really hideous. And same with that too. But yeah, you have a dark red and a darker red. I think the hair's printed too, but I can't really tell. No, the hair is an actual plush, it's just embroidered and sewn on. Then for the right ear, you have the dot patterns with the gray inside it, but it's probably printed on. You have the embroidering for the ear, embroidering for the animatronic ear. You have embroidering all around it for the head of the plush. Stronger material, I don't know how to describe it, rougher material for the plush's head on the right side. But overall, I think that's it, maybe. Alright, so how would I rate this plush out of 10, and what's my thoughts on it? If you have the $26, I would recommend it, but like if you're an official FNAF collector, I would stay away from it. Unless you really want the Wizards. Because I don't see Funko making them at this point. If, Xmart's going to make them and other companies are going to make them before Funko. Because, like, Funko had their opportunity, but they kept sleeping on it. They even got Puppet Steve to, request it for them, and they just made Glitch Trap instead. They just, like, copped out for Glitch Trap. Action figure. But other than that, I mean, like, I would say if you have the money, buy this plush. For my copy, personally, this could vary person to person, but my copy is personally a 7 out of 10. Honestly, it's really bad. Like, I didn't show this on camera, but he cannot stand at all. He cannot stand. He keeps falling over. His legs on mine are misaligned, and I think that's basically it, besides it being overstuffed and it can't really hold its own weight. But for an unbiased standpoint, if you want to buy these as a FNAF fan, I'd say buy them, honestly. Because, like, they're really good, I'd say. Like, the qualities feel like Funko. Feels like original Funko. And, like, it's really soft. It's not really squishable, but it is a collector's piece, I would say. So, overall, I would say I would recommend it, only if you have the money, and also, like, it's not that much either. It's like $20 plus shipping and handling and tax. But I would say if you can find this, like, on a different retailer, I would say, maybe skip out on it. Alright, so what I'm trying to say is, I would highly recommend this plush if you have $30, roughly. And I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of FNAF, or you have someone who's a fan of FNAF in your family or something like that. And yeah, I would definitely buy these before the FNAF movie releases, potentially, because these could sell out. But yeah, overall, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello everybody, FunToPlush here, back with another video. Today we are going over the Xmart Withered plushies, so without further ado, without much rambling, let's get into it. Oh, before we get into that, Foxy will be reviewed in this video. He's just going to be the very last one, considering I already reviewed him. Yeah, let's get into the video now. Alright, to start things off here, we have his Freddy Fazbear Withered, or Withered Freddy, whatever you want to call him. So, starting off with Freddy, his top hat is completely, it's stuffed completely. Even the rim on the hat is like embroidered on. Not embroidered on, but like it has another layer compared to Funko's. The hat is extremely stuffed really well. The ears are just dark brown with a lighter shade of brown inside them, and it has a little embroidering around it. Then for the head, you have a black eye on the left side and a normal eye on the right side. But you have a little shine / eyeball right here. Pupil in white for the possessed child, or whatever you want to call it, inside the suit. And on here you have the light blue, black, and 2 white shines for the eye, and then a outer brown embroidering and a little bit more plush material for the eyelid. And you have some eyebrows embroidered on in black. Then for the muzzle is basically a basic bear muzzle. Nothing much to say about that. You do have a little plastic nose, which mine is a little scuffed, but that's fine. A little scratch on it, I think. Yeah, scratch. But yeah, it has a little... But yeah, basically for Freddy, you just get your basic bear muzzle with this plastic nose. And the head shape is roughly the same as original Freddy's, just a little bit more slimmer. Then for the left side of the body, you do have withered texturing on the arms. Starting with the upper arm on the very next to the paw, you have some damage right there and here. These are embroidered on. These are sewn on and then embroidered on. They're a different material than the actual plush, which looks really nice. It gives us a whole withered texture. Then on the other arm, you have some wires popping out with blue and red. Then you have a little endo part in here with some black and silver. Then you have the bear paw again in that lighter shade of brown. Then you have the bow tie, which is just your standard basic bow tie, just in black, and it's a little bit smaller. Two black buttons with more of a lighter shade of brown, or medium nougat color for the torso belly area, and that is sewn on in there like the Funko plushies when they originally made them. Then you have some, actually I just noticed this now, like just recently, but on his right leg, other than the wires, you have some golden ingots in here, not ingots, but golden bars in here with the silver, which looks really, really nice. And you have some white, red, and blue wires popping out. Then you have a little hole over here in black for the more of a damage. And you have two more paws that are just basic, Freddy colors, dark tan and light tan. No, dark brown and light tan. But yeah, that's it for Freddy. Let's get on to the tag. Alright, before we get to the tag, here's the back of a plush. I keep forgetting to show the back of the plushies for some reason, but you do have a little sewn in part where where they put the hat pieces together, and you just have this little indent right here with the suit. But yeah, now let's get on to the tag. Alright, then for the tag, you have X Spartan Global Special Edition with the Withereds, Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy, Withered Bonnie, and Withered Chica. And on the back of that, you have a thank you note, and you have the AI X Smart Global picture of Collect Me and My Friends with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. On the back of that is just a little safety note. And yeah, that's it for the tag. That's it for Freddy, and that's basically the same tag for all of them. So let's move on to Bonnie, my favorite, honestly. Alright, Bonnie here. This one is really, really cool. I will say that straight off the bat. This one's really, really cool. So this is Withered Bonnie from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. These are all based off Five Nights at Freddy's 2, not the FNAF 1 Withereds based off the movie or anything similar to that. These are strictly based off FNAF 2. I just want to get this out of the way if people watch this in the future. But yeah, to start off with Withered Bonnie, let's start off with his face, because it's the most awesome part. So basically, you have two sections merged together. I know this looks kind of like a toilet, but it looks really, really nice, honestly. You have the teeth. These are 3D teeth. They're not like, 3D as like 3-dimensional. They're like 2D, but they feel 3D, basically. They're not flat. They are 3-dimensional, but they're made out in 2D style. You have black sewn on in here, which is really, really nice. And you have a gray endoskeleton mouth. And you have the gray endo with some embroidering for the dots in the side of the endoskeleton. Then you have some silver wires and red wires. They should have had a little bit of light blue in here or something similar to that for a wire, or at least a golden wire, so it has a little bit more variation besides gray and red. But it works. You have the black around the eyes with the red inside the further. Oh my gosh, the red pupil inside the black shadows. You have the black shadows all across his face. And on the side, it looks quite nice, very nice proportioned, very nice proportions. That's on the same side too. The wires are made of a spring trap material where they're like shoelaces. Then for the ears are artificially bent on this side, where you cannot move this unless you want to break it. It's artificially bent. And you have a little bit of light blue inside here, inside both the ears. And this one's more artificially bent up. Same thing. You do have a little indentation right here for the ears, so it looks more animatronic-like Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. Like a bunny mascot, where it has a little bit segmented part right here. You have embroidering around that in dark blue, with light blue inside the ears. And that's on both sides. This one's more of a point. They both have points right here. Sorry, it's a little hard to see, but you have a little points right here where the ear ends. And you have a little curve inside the ear for the inner ears. Alright, then for the body, you have a Phantom Foxy / Withered Foxy, whatever you want to call it, material for his hand. And the AR skins for his hand. It's in a nice dark gunmetal gray. Or dark stone metallic gray. You have a blue arm with the dark red bow tie, with 2 black dots for the buttons. You have a light blue inside the torso for the belly of the animatronic. Then you have over here some black for the withering right here. Then you have 2 wires in black and red. Then you have more damage over here that's embroidered on with a metallic gray foot. And then one right here for that's in light blue and dark blue. You have dark blue for the base body. Nothing much, honestly. Then on the right side, you have black with some wires across here. In black, gray, red, and then blue. A little bit of blue. It's a little bit harder to see. But yeah, that's it for Bonnie. Let's move on to Chica. Wait, actually. Here is the back of a Bonnie plush if anybody's interested. It's very, very plain because you don't really see these from the back anyhow. Alright, we're to start with Withered Chica. She is a specialty, alright? She is very, very unique. Very, very cool. She's just as unique as Withered Bonnie, I would say. So yeah, she's from FNAF 2. Let's get into it. Alright, so starting off with Withered Chica's head. As you can see here, it has orange in the 2 nostrils and dark goldish yellow. And orange for the beak. Her teeth are embroidered on with some red and blue wires across it. Then you have pink for the eyes, a nice soft material for the eyeball. And you have pink for the iris, black for the pupil, and 2 whites for the shine. You have a hollowness inside the eye in the black color. Then you have 3 yellow tufts of hair. Then it doesn't go all the way around the whole withering that's on the side of her mouth, which is fully embroidered on with red and then black for the basic plush. This has a little bit of security breach material, not a softer material like this arm, but it's alright. It's a very, very, nitpicky thing. But yeah, I mean, it should have gone all the way around the back, but like that's kind of like, this is like a $20 plush, so it ain't that much, honestly. So it's good for what you get, honestly. Then for the teeth are embroidered on in white, and I think I already mentioned that. Then for her body, you have her giant bib that says "Let's Eat," and it does have a little bit of green on here, which I do not like, but that's probably like a printing error. Then you have all the party patterns on here with the triangles of yellow, blue, pinks, and greens. Then you have some damaging on the arms in black on both sides with the hole in the back here. Then you have some more black over here with some red and blue wires, and that's on both sides. Whereas some wires, and and they're both in black and red, black and blue. No, wait, blue and red. Then you have some more damage over here with the black for the damaging, and then you have chicken feet right here in silver for the tips of the toes, made in the Phantom Foxy material. Mine's kind of coming loose. Unfortunately, it was just a hairball. I don't know. Probably hairball. Yeah, it's just a hairball. Then you have orange for her feet, which is inspired off of Toy Chica, I would say. Yeah, it's heavily inspired off of Toy Chica, just enlarged to fit Withered Chica. And it does have some silver on it, which looks really, really nice. It's really accurate to her FNAF 2 counterpart. Then on the back, it's literally nothing. Literally nothing on the back. Overall, a good plush. Probably a 9 out of 10 in my eyes. But yeah. Alright, Withered Foxy. Once again, I have reviewed this already. So this is going to be really quick, considering I don't need to drag this out longer than it needs to be. So basically with Withered Foxy, starting off with Withered Foxy's head, it's a brand new head shape for Withered Foxy. You do not have a little ruffles or a division in between his ruffles to make, multiple ruffles on the side of his head. You have some damage right here underneath the eye and on top of the head with the silver endoskeleton ear. That's not printed. That's, like embroidered on with silver and light grays and dark grays and gunmetal grays. Then you have a printed on ear over here. It's really printed. You can kind of see it over here. You have white speckles in here for the ear, which does look pretty bad, honestly. But you do have dark red and then dark red and a darker red inside the ear with a bright red embroidering around it. You have a solid black eye patch, not a flat piece, just a solid black eye patch with a little strand right here for the eye patch. Some more damage underneath it, embroidered on in black. You have a dog nose right here, plastic dog nose right here. Then you have 2 buck teeth that's made in a decently hard material in white. Then you have silver on the right hand, and then silver on the right hand, left hand with a hook, which is an engraver. It's based off the Phantom Foxy design, or Radioactive Foxy, I should say. But so it's really, really flimsy. Then you have some more black damaging all across here for his torso. Arms are very, very minor compared to his torso. His torso has a very, very big rip, and you can actually, it goes all the way around, which is incredible. And you do have the silver endoskeleton on the front and back of this. Then you have a silver endoskeleton legs outlined in a lightish silver, which looks really, really nice. They're outlined in light silver. Then you have the shorts in a brown color, very, very soft. And yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to speed run this guy because I already made a 10-minute review on him. I'm going to make probably like 5-minute reviews on the others. But yeah, for the tag, this is X-Smart Global Withered Foxy. It just says that on all of them, so like I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. He does have a yellow eye with 1 shine compared to the others who have 2. Or just not 2 or none. He has 1 with the black pupil. I plan to rebuy him, considering mine is very, very deformed. Like, he will not stand up for the life of him. I have to lean him against something, like, example, light box. He'll stand or sit better. Yeah, so that's why he's so awkward in my collection. He has a very, very big head, and his body doesn't hold up his weight, and it just topples him back over. But overall, that's it for Foxy. Let's move on to the conclusion of this video. Ratings of all the plushies, and then we'll conclude the video. To start off the ratings of a set, we have the Withered Freddy plush. I would rate him a 8 out of 10. His eye is inaccurate to his in-game counterpart, but it still looks nice. It was like an original design made by someone else originally, then it kind of carried over to Canon Media, but like, you know, it's fine. It's in the cameras too. It's just like for one scene of a game. He has both his eyes in game, so I'm going to count that against him, so like that's 1 point. And like, honestly, the eyebrows are too small, but other than that, everything else is a very, very good plush. Really highly recommend it. 8 out of 10 for me in my eyes. Really good plushie. I really do recommend it. If you can find these on Amazon, I'll leave a link down in the description below, but you can just go and look on Amazon, type in Withered plushies. These should pop up under the X-Smart Global Store name, or X-Smart Store, and that's where you find them. Alright, now Withered Bonnie here. He is, I would say, a 9 out of 10. The only thing bad I have to complain about him is he should have a little bit one more color of the wire strands, but that's such a nitpick, it really doesn't matter. Like, it does look very, very accurate to his in-game counterpart. It looks very, very nice and very, very accurate to his in-game counterpart. Of course, the blue is a little bit too blue, but like it's fine. I should make a purple variant just for the purple Bonnie lovers like myself. Honestly. But other than that, like, this is a phenomenal plush. I do highly recommend buying these if you can. And yeah, that's it for Bonnie. Let's move on to Chica. Alright, for Withered Chica, she's another banger too. Solid 10 out of 10. Perfect plush. She is very, very accurate to her. Oh, wait, no. 9 out of 10. She's very accurate to her in-game counterpart. She looks very, very nice. The only thing I do have to complain about her is her bib. Her bib, it has a slight green tint to it. On the eat part, everything else is yellow. Eaten in the exclamation points have a little bit of green on it for some reason. But other than that, phenomenal plush. Nothing much to complain about besides that and maybe another wire color on the wires. But other than that, it's basically highly accurate, highly detailed to her in-game counterpart. But yeah, let's get on to Foxy. Alright, now we have Withered Foxy. Probably one of the best plushies in this set. Despite being, you know, mine being like kind of deformed. He, I would say, is probably like a 10 out of 10. I'm going to have to say this right now. Even though Foxy's not my favorite, he's a 10 out of 10 in my eyes. Because he's perfect to his in-game counterpart. Yes, there's a little bit of printing on the ear, but that doesn't really matter that much. Even though you can kind of see it. He's a 10 out of 10 plush. Mine's a little deformed, but like other people's have been pretty good. Honestly, I just got a bad copy on mine. But yeah, solid 10 out of 10 for Foxy. Let's move on to the ratings of a full wave and we'll end the video. Alright, so the wave as a whole, I would recommend this as a 10 out of 10 wave if you can buy it, or a 9.5. These are highly accurate to her in-game counterparts, really accurate to her, in-game depictions, and they look really nice on a shelf. If you have like specifically just Withered, they look really nice. There's a Withered Golden Freddy and Withered Shadow Freddy coming soon. So like when I get those, I don't know where I'm going to put them because like my shelves are a little bit too small. But overall, I would say this is a really good start to a really good company for Xmart, and I would highly recommend buying these plushies if you can. They are technically knockoffs, so you're not supporting an official brand. That's my only complaint. Hopefully they get the license if they haven't already. So yeah, I suggest supporting Xmart if you want to, because like they do have really good quality merch. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, we from the Plush here, back with another video. Today we are going over the Five Nights at Freddy's U2's Withered plushies. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, I usually forget to mention these in these videos, but these are $30 a piece and the quality kind of varies. We'll go over these two last because I have a lot to say about these. So far, Foxy and Freddy are the best looking ones. Bonnie's pretty mid. Chica's horrible in my opinion. I'd say the whole wave is probably about like mediocre for now. I'll get to my full ratings and thoughts of this wave at the end. So now, without further ado, let's start off with this review with Freddy. Alright, so starting off the ringleader himself, Withered Freddy. Alright, now going into details with Freddy. As you can see here, he has his black top hat. This is a softer material compared to all the other Freddys for the most part. Only him and Dreadbear use a soft hat so far. He has dark brown eyebrows, dark brown eyelids, and then he has dark brown for the full fur. The base fur, sorry. And he has a khaki for his inside the ears, khaki inside the ears, or a lightish dark brown. And that's also on his muzzle where you have a soft plastic nose. This one's actually soft compared to the other ones. This is like the first time using it, I think, or one of the first. And you have a devious grin right here, which I actually like this more than the Phantom Freddy. I'm going to say that right now. I like this way more than the Phantom Freddy due to like this one looking more natural and more chibi-like instead of like Phantom Freddy where it's just like, like it looks kind of odd in my opinion. Alright, so you have a white U2's eye, blue inside the middle for the iris, white for its shine, and you have an embroidering in black, and that's on both sides. You have some hollowness for that too as well, and that's on both sides. Now going down to Freddy's lower half, as you can see here, he has a microphone, which is a first for this type of U2's plush, where Freddy Fazbear has a microphone. And on the other side as well, you do have some endo parts popping out too, and you have some red and blue wires popping out as well, and you have some more brown damage on the leg. Then you have his the standard U2's feet are just a little bit larger than usual. So yeah, let's move on to the back. My apologies, this guy is way too top heavy for showing his back. But you have a little bit more damage on the back. You have like a stylized damage right here for his neck area and on his arm. And he does come with a small bear tail, and it's actually curvular and circular instead of the basic square like it usually was and not dogtailish like Vanny. Alright, now with Withered Freddy's tag here, as you can see here, it has the silhouette of Withered Freddy in this rainbow foil pattern. Then inside it says, "Thanks for collecting me, Withered Freddy. Thanks for collecting me, FNAF Withered Freddy." All the legal information, design in Canada, and then the barcode. Yeah, and as you can see here, rainbow foil, and it has white for the accents, or white for the more distinctive parts of the plushies, like up here of the top hat, the eyes, the bow tie,
the buttons, and the microphone. Alright, so how do I rate Withered Freddy out of 10? Honestly, I would probably give him about an 8 out of 10. He's a really good plush. He has really nice details. The details should have been made into black for some areas, especially for his eyebrows and his embroidering on his, at least his arms and stuff. I mean, this one can be passable, but I'd rather have black instead of this dark brown inside of it for the embroidering. The wires are fine. Head shape's pretty good. It's a lot better than Phantom Freddy from the looks of things. And yeah, overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10. I would highly recommend it if you're able to get it. Now let's move on to the next best one, Withered Foxy. Alright, time to sell the 7 C's with Withered Foxy. So let's get into it. Alright, to start off with Withered Foxy's head, as you can see here, you have 4 tufts of hair. Then you have some more red and blue wires, dark gray endoskeleton ear. His eye patch is flopped up. It's like permanently like that to a degree. You have fabric around his head with some, embroidering on in black or dark brown. It's in black, sorry about that. Then you have, his ear, which has dark red, then lighter orangish red outside of the ear. Dark red in the middle, which goes all the way around, and it's all embroidered, or something similar to that. It looks like it's a different material. It doesn't feel embroidered, but it could be. His nose is just your standard. It's not printed on, but sewn on. So it's like gonna throw you off a little bit, I guess. He has his yellow eyes. He has dark yellow and brighter yellow inside the eyes. Orange for the upper half for his eyelid. You have black all around his. He has black eye rings for a hollowness, and you have black for his damage. Black for his damage around the eye. Then you have his grin with I think these are dark yellow. Yeah, these are both darkish yellow / dark white for his teeth. Then that's practically it for his face. Let's move on to the next thing. Wait, now before we do that, let's show a back view or side view of the plush on the front. Here's the back of a head. Here's the side of a head. I didn't even realize I went that far, dang. But you do have more continuation of his eye patch. Alright, then for Foxy's torso, legs, and, arms. As you can see here, this is what they should have done for Withered Freddy, honestly. Because, if dark brown is slightly noticeable, but, they should use black like how we did on Foxy. But, yeah, gray endoskeleton legs. They're really, really thin, and they do not hold up too well when you'd have them basically on, not display, but just sitting down regularly. I cannot talk. You have a gray hook, brownish gray for his pants. Endoskeleton is embroidered in gunmetal gray. You have some nice black for his embroidering inside the suit, black fabric inside the suit, and you have embroidery on in silver / gunmetal gray for the animatronic endoskeleton. And you have some embroidering for all the damage around his suit. Some more damage underneath his neck, and his torso has a nice, pinkish shamish color for his torso. And the arms are just the same thing on the other, not the same thing, but it's a little bit more damage on the right side than the left side. The left side is minimal damage, while the right side has a lot of damage. Before I forget to point this out, this goes all the way around. The embroidering that splits goes all the way around, and you have some more endoskeleton in the back and more endoskeleton damage on both the arms. And yeah, he is a very, very detailed plush, and I don't know what else to say about it. He's highly accurate. Stylized, but highly accurate. Alright, now for the tag here. As you can see here, it's just your standard Five Nights at Freddy's YouTube's tag. When you flip it over, it says, "Thanks for collecting me, FNAF Withered Foxy," with the designers, all the warning choking hazards, and all that stuff. It says, "Certified Plush Design in Canada." I'm not going to go over that every single time, just with these two. I feel like the YouTube's tag is paper. Yeah, it's paper on these. Fabric-y paper on this. It's not too It's not too premium, but still like premium enough because like plushie is pretty on par with YouTube standards. Alright, even though I'm not a Foxy fan, I'm going to say him and Withered Freddy are probably the best out of this wave. Foxy is a 9 or at least a 10 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10 due to his pants being inaccurate color. It's more of a dark grayish brown instead of just like a khaki color. But yeah, that's my only complaint with this guy. Like, he's phenomenal. Solid 9 out of 10 for this guy. I would highly recommend buying this and Withered Freddy if you get a chance. I would say on the other two that I'm about to review, those are more simple, so let's just get into it. Alright, next to last we have is Withered Bonnie. Alright, to start off with Withered Bonnie, as you can see here, starting with his faceless features, he has his whole face removed. You have his like chibi-ish style. But yeah, let's get into this. His ears are probably the most disappointing thing. These are small, super small, and it's supposed to be like Bonnie, and like they made Bonnie in the past. I don't know why they couldn't just give him bigger ears, because like these are way too small in my opinion. But you do have light purple and dark purple for the light purple for the accents, dark purple for the base of the plush. And let's move on to his teeth. His teeth are made out of a not velvet, but like more of a like cardboardish material. I don't know how to describe it. It's like feels kind of like a softball, but not a softball. I don't know how to describe it more than that. Then his wires here are just in dark brown, which is really disappointing. They should use red, blue, green, a little bit of gray, maybe a little bit of brown if they were really filling it. But this is just too much brown on this plush for the wires. You have red eyes embroidered on. But you have his mouth, which is it's flat enough, I would say. But at the same time, like this is a really big letdown in my opinion. Like, people have been waiting for Withered plushies. I know I shouldn't be promoting a bootleg, but just get the X Smart one. It's a lot better and has way more details, especially for him and Chica. Or just buy the full Withered set from X Smart. It's gonna get me YouTube's probably getting a man for me for being too legit, but still, like, I would suggest buying those. Oh yeah, before we get into more of that, you have a nice cardboard material in here to hold up his mouth, or plastic, and that's in a darkish, bluish, purplish color, very very dark purple, or it's black. No, inside the face is black, but the bottom of the jaw is dark purple. Alright, then for his torso, arm, and legs, same gist with the arms. It's just the same dark brown wires, no coloration at all. And oddly enough, this is the only colored wire, but you have one orange wire on here. And the rest are just brown, which makes no sense, because the other ones had red and blue. Why did they change it all of a sudden with Withered Bonnie and just giving him dark brown and one orange wire? It makes no sense, and it's very inconsistent. Then you have two damages on his legs and one damage on his right leg. For his full leg, you just have your basic fur patches, the basic fur, dark purple fur, and you have lavenderish for his, base of his foot. And you have some embroidery on for his toes and stuff like that. Same thing's on the other side, but it's like a gray color instead of just a basic, purple. Because he's Withered Bonnie, he's missing a foot, he's missing an arm, and he's missing a hand sleeve. As you can see right here, the hand sleeve is the light gray and it's embroidered onto the arm. Not embroidered on, it is, sewn into the arm. Really, really nice design, but I feel like it could be a little bit better. It's a bit flat. There's less detail on it. But yeah, it's just your lightish dark gray for the hand. And yeah, that's it for the base of the plush. Let's move on to back. Alright, I forgot to put, this is post-editing now, but I forgot to put this in the video. He has an orange bow tie and some black buttons. Like, he's supposed to have a red bow tie and black buttons, but like, the buttons are fine. It's just the bow tie's off. It's in a dark rusty orange color. Then you have lavender for his inside his belly, or on for his inner belly, sorry. For the back here is just a lightning bolt, and you have 3 more brown wires. That's essentially it. Like, for someone who is a fan of Bonnie, like since the very beginning, this is really disappointing for our first official Withered Bonnie plush, that it doesn't even live up to the hype, honestly. Because YouTube has potential to make this a pretty good plush. Wait. Alright, so here is Withered Bonnie's tag. As you can see here, you just have his highlights, the wires, and his faceless features are highlighted. And this is in a rainbow foil like Pokemon cards. It says, thanks for collecting me, FNAF Withered Bonnie, help designers and stuff like that. I'm not going to go over the back. It's essentially the same thing. Oddly enough, this is made of base paper and not like, premium, glossy paper. Don't know what's up with that. Let's move on to ratings of Bonnie. Alright, so Withered Bonnie here. I would say he's about a 5 out of 10. He's very under-detailed for a character he is. He has a lot of inaccuracies, especially with the brown wires on his face, leg, and arm. Like, what happened? I mean, like, they were able to give, like, different animatronics different colored wires. Like, Freddy, for example, he has red and blue. Foxy has red and blue. This is just brown and orange. The only one that uses orange is Chica, and, like, why make a different color when you could have just reused the wires you had? Now, yeah, it'll be a little bit jarring in some areas. Just even it out. That's all I'm going to say. Just even out the wire pattern, and it shouldn't look too bad. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Sorry, Withered Bonnie. It's just, it is how it is. And I would say his ears are very, very small, too. Like, they're capable of giving animatronic big ears. Big ears. Because, like, Vanny has it, and she was the first ever FNAF YouTube's plush. Bonnie has it, sitting form and standing form. They just, like, gave up halfway through after ears and wires. Like, it's just sad, honestly. Like, but yeah, overall, I'd give this 5 out of 10. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to bash them too much, but yeah, this is a disappointing plush. Along with the next one we're going to review. Alright, last up we have Pizza Time with Withered Chica. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, to start off with Withered Chica here. As you can see, her eyes are just a lot larger than YouTube's ones, I'm pretty sure. Let me get Freddy for example. Yeah, her eyes are slightly bigger than the others. But yeah, you have a whole hollow blackness embroidered on. Her whole eyes are embroidered on. I should have mentioned that. All of her eyes are embroidered on. It has pink, white, and white again for the YouTube's eye. Her beak is just made of light orange color. There's no teeth in here at all. Just a hollow black shell with a hollow, jaw piece for Withered Chica. Her wires are oddly orange or just a oddly rosish red, I guess you can say, metallic. And that goes all the way around her head. Really nothing much about that, honestly. This plush is really simple, and there's really nothing much to go over. Going down to the bottom, as you can see here, you have her orange wires. Orange or copperish wires. This is kind of disappointing. They're not as jarring as Bonnie's, but they're still pretty jarring. She has like different colored wires in the game. At least give it, like, I feel like her wires and Bonnie's wires should have been swapped at the minimum. She has her Let's Eat bib printed on. It's just your just typical Let's Eat bib from FNAF. It's a little bit too big or small. Inside of this, there's some, there's just white spots on here. Just empty hollow white spots. Because like the Let's Eat is like off-centered. Because as you can see here, if I push this down, you can see more of her bib. But like it goes up because like it wasn't sewn on too well. And on the back you have a, essentially the tie to the bib, but it's not really, it's just sewn in. Then for her feet and legs and arms are just very plain, honestly. The only thing different between this one and standard Chica is, like the feet area. She has 3 toes instead of 2. And yeah, I would say if you're a Withered Chica fan, you're let down by this plush, 100%. Now, let's get on to the ratings of Withered Chica. Alright, as someone who likes Chica to an extent, just, she's a cool character and all. She was the first, she saw everything. She has some of the creepiest designs. And the fact they couldn't pull this off with a plushie and they pulled it off with a figure really shows how jarring this is. If I were to get some, reference in this video, which I am going to put some reference in here just so it's not, you can actually see what I'm talking about. This is a bad plush. I'm going to be flat out. It's a bad plush. I do not recommend it. 3 out of 10. The materials are good, yes. But, there's so much more of this could have been better. This could have been a whole lot better. Especially with the wires being, inaccurate colors, just being copper. Same with Withered Bonnie to an extent. His is, dark brown and Chica's is, copper. These could have been a lot better. Heck, even print on the damage. I wouldn't mind that. As if you didn't have the budget to sewn in everything on Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy to do on the others, at least print on the damage. Do what you did with Into the Pit Spring Bonnie or Into the Pit Yellow Fang. Yeah. Overall, I would say this plush is not. I do not recommend this plush a 3 out of 10. I highly do not recommend it. Let's video and rate the wave as a total. Alright, so for the wave as a whole, I would say I highly suggest do not buy Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica. They are highly under-detailed for what they are. Withered Bonnie's missing some things. No, he has inaccurate colored wires, and he is missing some details, and some of them it's just lazy, honestly. He's missing the endoskeleton in the jaw, too, as well. Withered Chica is missing all her damage. She looks just like normal Chica, just with damage. Alright, so Withered Chica here, she looks exactly like normal Chica. Just add an extra toe, give her some wires, embroider on some damage on her mouth, and that's about it. These two, on the other hand, I have nothing to complain about. Maybe besides his endoskeleton damage being in, his holes in his suit being more dark brown instead of, black. How does that happen? And his eyebrows are inaccurate, too, being, dark brown instead of, black. How did that happen? I have no complaints on Withered Foxy. He's pretty spot on. But yeah, overall, I'm going to say this wave is mid. And I'm going to say I have to give this whole wave a 5 out of 10. It's a very mixed bag. Sorry to disappoint anybody, disappoint anybody, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, bye.
Alright, to start off with Mangle, she's number 45 in this U2's Collectibles Five Nights at Freddy's collection, 45 in the set. Mangle, vinyl figure. Then going on to the left side, you have a new face of Playtime with Mangle, U2's Collectibles, some confetti and stuff like that. And on the back, it says, now he's just a mess of parts. Then on the right side, you have the staff literally has to put Foxy back together after every shift. Then on the top, you have Mangle itself. And yeah, let's open this up and see what the figure looks like. Alright, to start off with Mangle's lower half, as you can see here, you have 2 endoskeleton feet, 1 basic foot with the 3 squares for toenails painted on. You have some nice endo parts going up and to the side. Let's do a 360 real quickly. And you have her ball at the back from the Help Wanted model. And you do have her left hand on the side and some more endo parts. Zooming up a bit, you can see the endoskeleton head, and you have some blue and red wires with her hand poking out, and with some more endoskeleton parts with her bow tie. Then on the right side, you have a little bit of more endoskeleton parts peeking out. Then starting off with Mangle's jaw itself, as you can see here, you have some red lipstick, the endoskeleton jaw, even the red inside of the mouth, and then the pink on top. You have the eyeliner from the Help Wanted model, black U2's eye, and a yellow U2's eye. You have a red blush. You have the blue and red for the wires popping out, and that's on one side. You have a hand in the back. You have her ears in the front with the pink inside it. Here is a look at the back from the Mangle figure. Really phenomenal figure, but I will say it's pretty fragile. Alright, so rating Mangle out of 10, I would say she or he or they, yes, is a 10 out of 10 figure. It is a bit fragile in some areas, but from the sculpt wise itself, it's really durable if you get everything together. It's mostly durable. So overall, it's a 10 out of 10 figure, or at least a 9 or 8.5 out of 10. Alright, so rating the Mangle figure out of 10, I would say she's about a 9 out of 10. My only complaints are she's super fragile, and she's really fragile and breakable out of box. But overall, still a phenomenal figure. I would give this figure a 9 out of 10. Let's move on to the next one, being the puppet. Alright, here's the marionette out of its sleeve. You have number 44 in the U2's Collectibles Five Nights at Freddy's collection. Marionette vinyl figure, U2's. On the left side, you have the puppet peeping out of the box in the dark hollowness of a box, I guess. I don't really know. No, I think this is play area, supposedly. Then it says, "I'm not afraid of you, are you afraid of me?" Then on the right side, you have, "I don't hate you." Then on the inside of the box, it said, "You should be." Alright, so looking at the puppet figure herself, as you can see here, the huge major inaccuracy here is wait, no. Alright, so starting off with the puppet and its box itself. Let's start off with the puppet. As you can see here, the puppet here has like her black tendrils with her claws coming down onto the box, and her stripes are painted on in white, and that's on the upper side as well. You have her basic mask with the U2's eyes that are in white and they're 3D. This is a hollow mask too. You have her purple tear streaks, red for the blush, red for the lipstick, black inside the mouth. I think this is a dual mold, I can't really tell. And then in the box, you have just basic black because you're not really going to see much. And for the sides of the box, just white and purple, which is the inaccurate colors for her box. It should be blue and purple, not white and purple. I don't know what got into YouTube's to think that this is, white and purple instead of blue and purple. But overall, this is a really simple figure. There is no buttons because this figure is quite difficult to probably paint that on to, unless they dual mold the whole thing. Here's the bottom. But yeah, let's rate the puppet now. Alright, so rating the puppet out of 10, I would probably give her probably a 7 out of 10, just to be generous. 8 out of 10, just to be generous. Because, her box is accurate in shape. Her figure is accurate, too, as well. It's just missing some quintessential details. Like, the puppet's box is just supposed to be in blue. And that's about it. Yeah, I still really recommend this figure if you can get one. But I would say the Funko one is slightly better. Alright, next one that said we have is number 41, Withered Freddy, final figure, Five Nights at Freddy's collection from U2's themselves. And on the right side you have, you look down, would you like a hug? She never said. And he has no place to run and exactly one place to hide, and he never said that. And here you have the party room with Withered Freddy, an opening the top. Then on the top of the box it says better luck next time. Alright, here's Withered Freddy in the flesh. As you can see here, he has, as you can see with Withered Freddy, as you can see here, all his damage is 3D. He has his 2 buttons, he has some blue and red wires popping out, he has his microphone in gray and black, he has his arm reaching out, you have more of a damage on his body, and you have some more wires peeking through, and you have some more damage on the back and some weathering as well, weathering on the arm, weathering on the head, and you have an endoskeleton jaw in there. It's just a little hard to see, and his lower jaw, which is a nice light dark flesh tone, medium-ish light flesh tone. Then for the head, you have a basic top hat, no stripe, ears with the endoskeleton, and you have some white and blue for the U2's eyes. You have some nice eye rings, and then eyelids, black eyebrows, black nose, no freckles, which is accurate. Yeah. Here is the back of the head if anybody's interested. Alright, so rating Withered Freddy out of 10, I would probably give him a 9 out of 10. He's a 9 or 10 out of 10. He's a very phenomenal figure. He's pretty much accurate to his endgame counterpart, he only has like a few stylized details, like with this whole scratch right here. But other than that, like, he's a phenomenal figure. I highly recommend it. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so here's Withered Bonnie. He's number 40 in the set. U2's Collectibles Withered Bonnie. Final figure, Finance Freeze collection. And on the left side, you have Withered Bonnie in Event. On the back, you have It's Time to Face the Consequences of Your Failure. And on the right side, it says You Blinked. Then the inside of the box, it says Might as well face the facts. You were always destined to fail. Alright, so here's Withered Bonnie. Let's start off with his face. As you can see, he has no face. Sorry. His ears are exactly the same as his original ears, just they're a little bit more bent. You have some black washing on the sides. It looks more like black airbrushing, not just, just your average, washing. Like, it's a little bit too much, honestly. He could have, like, padded this out a little bit more, just to make it more spread out, instead of just keeping it like this. Like, the shadows are nice, it just doesn't feel that warranted on some areas. Yeah, you have a huge hole in the back. Red bow tie, black buttons, wires coming out, and you have his hand grasping. You have his U2's eyes in the middle with the red dots. You have some wires peeking through. Then you have his teeth, which are highly accurate, and you have his, like, endoskeleton jaw with this small row of teeth. Then on the left side, you have just a standard Bonnie arm with some endoskeleton hand, barely any cuts and gashes. You have white and gray wires for some reason. Not white and gray. Gray and red wires for some reason. Then you have some more wires and gashes and holes on each suit. And you have an endoskeleton foot and a basic, just generic mascot foot. Endoskeleton. More endoskeleton details. More endoskeleton in the back. And that's basically it for Bonnie. Alright, so rating Bonnie out of 10, I would probably give him a 7 out of 10. Or an 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10 because, like, while he is good, his model matches the sculpt pretty well. But he is missing some colors on his wires, like red, purple, and green, I guess. Red, blue, and green. He has the red ones, but like the other ones are just unpainted / pretty boring. They took some inspiration from the Funko minis or like the Funko Pop. That would probably look a lot better, but I feel like they took too much inspiration from, or was just a little bit too lazy. But this is still a phenomenal figure. It sculpts really well. But we could have had better Withered Bonnie merch. But this is, at the same time, it's a little bit better than the Funko Pop. Here is Withered Chica. She's number 42 in the set. Finance Fairies collection. Vinyl figure. U2's Collectibles. On the left, you have Withered Chica in a hallway. And it says, I never thought I'd make it through that vent, but now we are together. Probably UCN quote, or she didn't say it at all. It says, I was the first, I have seen everything. Then on the top of the box, you have another stylized quote. It says, come closer, let's smile together. Here is Withered Chica out of box, and out of box by herself, she looks phenomenal, I will say that. Alright, to start off with Lower Chica's lower half. Not Lower Chica. Alright, for Withered Chica, let's start off with her lower half. To start off here, we have is her chicken feet, which is just, just your standard orange blockiness with some gray toenails, with some weathering around it. You have some black holes with some endoskeleton popping out. That's on the arms as well. You have some blue and red wires. You have her Let's Eat, and you do have an endoskeleton joint underneath the jaw, which is really, really cool. Then for her head here, as you can see here, you just have your standard yellow with some weathering around it. It's very subtle, but it is there. You have her pink eyes, which should be a little bit more purplish, but it's fine, I guess. You have her orange duck bill, chicken bill. And that's on the lower side as well. You have like a fully detailed endoskeleton. You have all the indentations, all the prongs holding up Withered Chica's jaw. You have an endoskeleton jaw that's completely broken. You can actually see through this, which is really nice. And up here you have a Withered cheek. Her endoskeleton jaw is a little bit thicker on the top just so it can hold up its weight. Then you have some white teeth. Then on the side you have more prongs to hold up the endo jaw. And the basic jaw. Pretty simple. Let's move on to ratings of this figure. Alright, so we're rating Withered Chica out of 10. Honestly, I would give her probably a 9 out of 10. There's only one inaccuracy I can point out. It's just her eyes are in a light pink instead of a purple. But overall, still a phenomenal figure. Would highly recommend. Alright, here's Withered Foxy. He's number 43 in the set of U2's Five Nights at Freddy's collection. Withered Foxy's an light, brightish orange. And you have vinyl figure, U2's collectibles. On the left side, you have Withered Foxy peeking out of a hallway or in the office. And on the back it says, "Ready to dance, the dead man's jig." On the other side, you have "Here I Come." Then opening of the top of the box. Then on the top of the box it says "Raw." Alright, out of box, and now I have some complaints. Let's just get into it. Alright, to start off with details of the figure, as you can see here, he has his metal endoskeleton feet and leg indentations, which has all the metal prongs and all the metal inside it. You have some holes and gashes on his belly and pants, and some gray wires popping out. Then you have some more endoskeleton details with the hook. And he has his hand peering out. Same hand as Withered Bonnie's, just a little bit more angled. Mine's a bit flimsy, I think. Let's go on the back and see if there's any detail. There is some detail. There's some endoskeleton parts. There's some dry brushing. Some endoskeleton prongs holding the head together. Some gunk right there for some odd reason. Then moving on to his head. Now, with Withered Foxy's head, this is quite detailed, and I do like how it looks. As you can see here, he has like a darkish yellowish teeth, bright or like dark white teeth. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like it's a dark white for his teeth. It's not white as the others. It's just like a banana yellow, I guess. You have the endoskeleton jaw. It's only halfway. Then you have his eyes in yellow. His eye sockets are 3D. And you have a brown eye patch, which should be in black. Mine is completely brown. I don't know if it's like varies person to person, but mine's like that. You have a great endoskeleton ear. And a great endoskeleton attachment piece. Then for his ears, you have one normal and one endoskeleton. And his 4 tufts of hair, which should be free, but 4 is nice too as well. You have a white for the inside of his eyes and U2's eyes. You have black nose. Then we have banana yellow for the teeth and all that stuff, and 2 holes on the side of his face. Alright, despite the inaccuracy, I'm still going to give this a 10 out of 10 because it's way better than the Funko Pop. The Funko Pop looks like shit, but this one looks pretty good. And it's way better than the Funko Pop, unless Funko decides to amp it up with their quality again, but I doubt that, honestly, we're just too greedy. But I would highly suggest getting this over to Funko Pop. It might be a little bit more expensive, but your value is definitely there. I would say he's a bit iffy because he's kind of a bit flimsy. But overall, he's a 9 out of 10 figure. Let's move on to the conclusion of this video. Alright, so rating the Withered Wave as a whole, including the puppet and the mangle. Honestly, I would give it an 8 out of 10. These are phenomenal figures. They look really, really nice. They're highly accurate to their in-game counterpart. The only thing I have to complain about these is the plastic joints are a bit flimsy on these characters, unfortunately. Because like Foxy feels like he's gonna break, Bonnie's hand feels like it's gonna break. Chica and Freddy feel the most durable, along with the puppet. Mangle's fragile AF. But other than that, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. It'll be fun to push here back on my video. Today we're going over to Five Nights at Freddy's Withered Golden Freddy Pop. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, to start off with the pop box itself, It has the blue Funko logo, Pop Games, 1033, Five Nights at Freddy's. You have Withered Golden Freddy on the side. It's a Hot Topic exclusive. Withered Golden Freddy, 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's. Then on the side, you have the Pop Games, Withered Golden Freddy, 1033. Then on the other side of this, you have the Five Nights at Freddy's, 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's. Download the Funko app, 2024 Scott Kaufman, all rights reserved. Five Nights at Freddy's, 1033, Pop Games, Golden Freddy, Withered Golden Freddy. Then on the side, you have Withered Golden Freddy, 1033, and his head peeking out, Pop Games. Then on the top of the box, you have the Five Nights at Freddy's Pop Games logo with the Funko logo and the Funko website, and then Golden Freddy himself. And in the flap, it's just exactly the same as the puppets. I'll be linking that in the description below, but it's the exact same flap as you can see here, with Freddy inside. So let's open this up, and I'll be right back. Alright, with the pop itself, as you can see here, he has a black top hat with the rim around it, which is inaccurate. You have the wires that are going across both sides of his head. He has a lot of damage on him, which looks really, really nice. You have wires coming out the eyes. There is no Funko Pop eyes on this, or Funko eyes on this, surprisingly, despite it, being a pop. I'm not complaining, it looks really, really nice. It's just a hollow suit, which it is one. Then you have more wires on the arms, legs, and feet. You have a lot of damaging on legs. You have a light gray endo instead of a dark gray endo. Personally, I would prefer the dark gray endo over a light gray endo any day. Honestly, this one looks a bit odd, especially with Golden Freddy. And on the back, you have some texturing. You have his microphone, FNAF 2 style, with the gray rim on the bottom and the top. More of the animatronic parts, wires inside the hand, and above the shoulder area, more wires popping out. You have more animatronic indentations. You have no buttons, oddly. Mine has a weird thing on it. I don't know what it is. I think it's like glue plus, washing. But yeah, you have this black bow tie, no buttons. Which is, you have the buttons up, but the bow tie is accurate, just no buttons is kind of inaccurate. Then you have free freckles on each side. It could have just painted on the buttons, honestly, that would have been a lot better. You have free freckles on each side, dark golden muzzle. And yeah, I think that's basically it for Golden Freddy. Nothing much to go over. Just basically yellow bear with a lot of texturing, and yeah. He's in a sitting position compared to like any other FNAF pop, which most of these are just standing up, so this is a brand new pose for him, honestly, because we never had a FNAF pop that's actually sitting down like this. And so this is the first. Black nose, black eyebrows, but just red and blue wires. Yeah, I really don't know what else to compare this to, honestly. Because we only have one more Golden Freddy pop, and, that one's just, standing up, and it's just basic Freddy. So if I get a basic Freddy, it's going to be the same comparison. Alright, so here's a comparison between the two Golden Freddys. The right being San Diego Comic-Con 2016 exclusive. For Five Nights at Freddy's, number 119, Pop Games. You have, same Golden Freddy. It's just the average Freddy design, just with, yellow texturing. But in the figure, it's gold. Golden Freddy, vinyl figure, you even have the age range for what Funko used to do at the time. Then on here, you just have 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, Withered Golden Freddy, Hot Topic exclusive, Withered Golden Freddy on the side, Pop Games still, number, Five Nights at Freddy's. The fonts are different. You have Funko on the side too, up here, up there. Then on the sides, ignore the tape. This is just to hold in the casing for it. You have Pop Games, 119 Golden Freddy. And this one's 1033 Withered Golden Freddy. The 3D render instead of a 2D art. Pop Games. Different background layouts. This is more FNAF 2. This is more FNAF 1. On the back of that, you have 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, and this one has all Wave 1, which is something they don't usually do with con exclusives, I would say. But you usually don't do this with con exclusives, but they did it for this one. I think it was before the whole line was even out, too. But yeah, on the back of here, you have Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Springtrap, and Nightmare Freddy. Collect them all. This one you just have Five Nights at Freddy's, 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, 2024 Scott Coffin, all rights reserved. Download the Funko app, and this one is just like 2016 Scott Coffin, all rights reserved Funko. Then on the left side of the box you have Pop Games, same thing, just like this one just says Withered Golden Freddy with the 3D render. This one just says Golden Freddy 119 with the actual 2D art. You still have the same numbers on the side, not the same exact numbers, but you still have the same number font. Alright, then for the top of these, you have Golden Freddy with 2D art, Pop Games, and over here you have Funko, the 3D render of Golden Freddy with the Pop Games, and that basically wraps up the comparison. Let's conclude the video. Alright everyone, so that'll wrap it up for this video here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested, and yeah, bye. Hello, Ethan the Plush here, back in the video. Today we are going over to Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Withered Pops. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, before we start into this video, we're going to start off with Freddy, Bonnie, then we're going to do Mangle last, Chica, and Foxy. Mangle is last because she's a toy animatronic. We'll do the Withereds first. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so here is Withered Freddy. To get off of the box, all the boxes are essentially the same. The only thing different about them is their side panel with the whole animatronic for their name, and the numbers are different. This is 1086 or 1086. Pop Games, Five Nights at Freddy's. Withered Freddy on the side, Withered Freddy vinyl figure. On the side, you have Pop Games, Withered Freddy 1086. With Withered Freddy in the FNAF 2 office. On the back, you have all the ones you can collect. You have Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, Withered Foxy, Withered Freddy, and Mangle. And on the other side, you have Withered Freddy 1086. And on the top, you have Withered Freddy peeking out. Let's open this up, and we'll get on to the pop. Alright, to start off with Withered Freddy, let's start off with Top Hat. His top hat is exactly the same as his original. You have dark brown inside the ears, which is inaccurate. It's supposed to be this lighter tan color. You have a ribbon around it, which is inaccurate as well. He has an angry expression, 2 black eyes. Then for his torso, he is made a little bit larger than Freddy originally because like his whole belly's a little bit different, a little bit more fatter. But that doesn't excuse like all this lazily detailed stuff. Like, I mean, the sculpt, it's okay from the bottom down, but from the head up, it's like utter trash, and it kind of destroys the figure. But yeah, it's just a standard Freddy mold, but except he has his mouth open with some endoskeleton teeth in there, which isn't really too good, honestly. I would say barely tell it's an endoskeleton. It just looks like an extra set of teeth. Black bow tie, black buttons, black damage. His wires are oddly in black, even though they should be in like red, blue, green, or yellow. No painting on the bottom of the feet for some reason, which is it's a staple of what they used to do. It's like paint the bottom of the feet, because they used to do that. Now we don't. Like, honestly, like this is like it should be this, belly color and muzzle color, but they just skipped out on that too. But you have some average damage on here. It's not too damage, but yeah. On the back, you have some little rivets for more damage, and he does have a dry brushing on him. He feels all really dirty, like fake dirt on him. Black nose. But yeah, I would do a comparison, but I'm gonna link MR Springs video in the description below. But yeah, overall, I would have to rate this guy probably a 2 out of 10. Or maybe 3 out of 10 being generous. He's inaccurate as heck. He doesn't look like Withered Freddy. He just looks like a Withered 1 Freddy Fazbear. Withered FNAF 1 Freddy Fazbear. There's no excuse for his laziness. They showed him what they're capable of. And this is just pure laziness. And we bought into it because we wanted the Withereds, but we got slop instead. Alright, next up here we have his Withered Bonnie. Here's his box, exactly the same as like all the others, except the number's different, the side panel is different. The head's on the bottom.
and the tops are different. The side is different, just with the whole glam shot. And on the back is just the same, except you have Withered Bonnie on the side instead of like Withered Freddy. But yeah, let's move on to the next one, Withered Bonnie. Alright, so with Withered Bonnie here, he's appearing more blue on my camera, but he's more of a purplish blue in real life. But yeah, to start off, his ears are the same. His head is the exact same mold as the 2016 iteration that came out with alongside the original puppet. Except his torso is different. That's literally all that's different, is his torso is different. Why is there so much glue around mine? I'm not going to question it. Wait, this can't even move, I don't think. Nope. Oh yeah, I can't move. Okay, good. But yeah, basic details, he has red eyes instead of wide eyes. He has, the same jaw, same rows of teeth, black wires, which is inaccurate, should be colored at the minimum. He has an endoskeleton jaw in here, which looks more endo-like, but there's no like animatronic skeleton detailing to tell it's an actual robot. He has some dry brushing all around him. He has black wires or brown wires. It's hard to tell. I think it's more brownish. In real life, it looks more brownish, but on camera, it's more black. I don't know why. On the back, you have some more dry brushing of the damage. He oddly has a nightmare foot for some reason. Like, that's probably the laziest thing you can do, is reuse a mold and not give it a new foot. Like, they could have reused Foxy's foot and that would have been A-okay. So it would have been accurate as possible if they were to go this accurate as Funko's lazy asses can do it. Yeah, as lazily as possible. They could just added Foxy's foot on here instead of this vented nightmare foot, which is highly inaccurate. It's for the nightmares. But you reuse this for 2016. That's more acceptable. But for 2025, this is highly unacceptable for FNAF merch. To have like an inaccurate piece. Dark red bow tie, 2 black buttons, lighter blue on his stomach, lighter blue inside the ears. He is reaching out with his animatronic hand, and his fingers are kind of flimsy in some areas, so I'd suggest being careful with those. And on the back of that, you just have a blatantly just blank animatronic hand with some rivets inside the whole fingers. Purple bunny tail, or blue. He has all the accurate damage, except the wires aren't painted. You have some wires underneath his belly, and that's unpainted. His main wires on his arms are unpainted too. They look like they tried to, at least in this little section right here, but I think they just painted over it in brown or black, which is really lazy. But yeah, I'm just gonna make this video as quick as possible. This figure right here is probably the best out of the Withereds, honestly, along with Foxy, but we'll get to him later. But yeah, overall for him entirely, if he wasn't reusing a mold, this would probably be a lot better. Because he is reusing a mold, and like the paint job is moderately bad, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10. Not 2 out of 10. 4 out of 10. A little bit better than Freddy, but this whole wave is kind of lackluster in general. 4 out of 10. I know this is everyone's favorite, but like at the same time, like they butchered them. They literally butchered them. This is the same 2016 mold, just recolored. How lazy can you get with that? There's no defending this at all. Alright, Withered Chica here. Where to frickin' start? First of all, she looks like Stingray Chica. 2, the wires are highly inaccurate. That's a main characteristic of her. And she can't even tilt her head, so that makes it, well, she can kind of tilt it side to side, but not really that well. And what the heck happened here, Funko? You have a budget, and you maximize your budget just to be lazy for these. Look at, compare these to the Ruin Pops, which just came out last year. Compare this to Withered Golden Freddy. Compare this to the Puppet. These do not line up with that. These look like 2016 rip-offs of the Withereds. These look like bootlegs, but they're official. But yeah, you have some burn marks on the side of your arms. Let's Eat is dirtied up because she's been in a back room for a while. It has purple, red, and like red, greens, and blues on her bib. Let's Eat is on there. Orange chicken feet with the spiky. The orange chicken feet are different compared to the original and the 10th anniversary. Instead of him having 2 toes, it has 3. But that's about it. You have brown wires, nothing much there. Honestly, it's really inaccurate. I mean, the damage on the back looks nice, but there's really no defending this figure at all. The face really ruins it, in my opinion. They had a chance to make this a really nice looking pop. They could have given us purple eyes too, or at least outlined it and made it like a white and a white outline with a purple eye. This doesn't even look like Chica. Look at the side of her face, too. It's like a pancake or a waffle that's been, like, undercooked. And what are even these things? They look like just metal prongs on the side, just holding her jaw up because Funko was too lazy to make the wires. This is abysmal. I do not recommend this. And, like, her endoskeleton in there, it doesn't even look like an endoskeleton. It just looks like part of her... It looks like it's a humanoid animatronic. Humanoid chicken, I guess. 4 tufts of hair, matte black shadow underneath the glossy black eyes, chicken bill, larger jaw. Let's see, she has all her damage that's necessary, except for it's like a lightning bolt right here. Don't know what's up with that, but it looks like a lightning bolt. It's probably just jagged damage. I'm gonna like put reference photos in this video too. But yeah, overall, this is probably just the worst one you can get out of a whole set. I know I bought it. I know I bought into this just by buying the Withered set in general. But do not buy this garbage. It is unacceptable. Let Funko rot. Do not give them any slack. Alright, Foxy here. I don't want to hear an shitty-ass excuse that's saying that. Like, oh, the Withereds are too hard to make. Look at the Mystery Minis compared to these. Compare the Mystery Minis to these. Then you got your answer. These are not hard characters to make. These colors are pretty simple. If they didn't know how to paint stuff, then why are all these minuscule details painted? Like the holes in the suit. There's like dry brushing on here. You cannot make that excuse at all. You just can't. These are unacceptable figures. They really are. I mean, Foxy's sculpt is good. But yeah, he has his hook, he has his damage. He has oddly like gears in his stomach and gears on top of his head, which is inaccurate. One dark red and brown ear. I mean, like, I'm probably gonna repaint this or just destroy it. One of those two. I mean, like this guy and Bonnie, I think I'm gonna keep maybe and just destroy Freddy and Chica. Because like this wave is just trash, honestly. Like this had potential. It really did have potential, but nope, people fucked it up at Funko. Silver or, rubbery metallic gray, hook. And FNAF 2 animatronic hand, which is like kind of reminiscent of Bonnie's. Yeah, it looks like Foxy's and Bonnie's combined, except it's like the original Foxy's with the free indentations, just a little bit curved. Brown lower jaw, really nice teeth, I would say. His teeth and endoskeleton are pretty good, honestly, for a fox. Foxy animatronic, but like the paint job ruins it. He looks like he's like, high on something, just to put it that way. Black wires, inaccurate. His endoskeleton ear is the least accurate. It has gray. And why is there brown in there? It's supposed to be like a dark gray color, not a brown. Yeah, that's brown in there. His eye patch is nice. Really nothing much to glaze about this figure. It's a really shitty Funko Pop, if you ask me. I mean, the animatronic feet are accurate compared to this fucker over here. Or Bonnie, who has a nightmare foot. Yeah, endoskeleton. What even happened there? It doesn't even look like an endoskeleton at all. It looks like radioactive Foxy plushie springs. Like, like the actual animatronic radioactive Foxy plush animatronic skeleton implanted in here and just called it a day. That's not how Withered Foxy's endoskeleton looks. It's less complex than this. It's a little bit more. This is at an angle. It's at the wrong angle and all that stuff. The torso's brown. He's not wearing pants. Well, he is wearing pants, but they made it red for some reason. So this doesn't even look like pants at all. It's just like blending in with the whole entire figure. And on the back, you just have animatronic gray endoskeleton, and you have more gray detailing and black eye patch. More detailing of the rivets inside the suit, or outside the suit for the animatronic. Inside the suit with the animatronic skeleton, he has two ball joint kneecaps right here. 2 little divots for his feet. But yeah, I mean, his scope's highly accurate. I will give him that. But like, that doesn't excuse like all the laziness. I forgot to rate Chica too. I mean, like, rating Chica and Foxy. Chica is a 1 out of 10. I'm going that low. Chica's 1 out of 10. She doesn't even look accurate at all. Foxy, on the other hand, I might have to give him a 4 or 5. He is accurate for the most part. Or 6, maybe. 6 at most. But, like, he sucks. He actually freaking sucks. Like, we waited, like, almost 10 years for these fuckers, and 2025 they come out, and yet they're garbage. We're like, oh, Funko, do it yourself, or whatever, instead of making it on your own and probably getting more money from it. They'd rather make a lazy slop like this. Well, that one's not half bad, but, like, Chica, hooey, what happened to her? But yeah, let's move on to Mangle. Alright, so Mangle here, she's an amazing figure. She really is. There's no really bad things I can say about this, except the whole, like, eye right here. It should have some yellow in here, but other than that, it's basically good. Maybe in the animatronic endoskeleton head should have a yellow eye as well, and maybe be less blocky. But other than that, there's really nothing bad to say about this, besides the eye color. But other than that, it's basically on par with its help wanted counterpart. Very, very amazing figure. With a nice animatronic ball tail. You have a toy animatronic style for the hands. Her head does move, but I'm not going to tamper with mine. She has her animatronic toy endoskeleton hand. This is a little flimsy on this one. Or at least you put too much pressure on it, it's going to break. Animatronic endoskeleton head. Can't move. Red and blue wires. She has her red bow tie compared to YouTube's, which is like pink. This one's red, which is more accurate. She has her accurate jaw too. It is enlarged, so they have more free space to, you know, do this stuff. But yeah, you have animatronic teeth in there with her outside of her jaw. Red lipstick, red cheeks, silver inside the eye, which would have helped with her Chica a little bit, but unfortunately they didn't do it of her. Red wire outside the ear, and the opposite ear with a blue wire. You have pink inside the ears as well. You have her endoskeleton hand popping out in the back. Her animatronic endoskeleton head is a bit sloppy because this is supposed to be like a robot head, not a square head. One pop eye. You have all the teeth. You have the animatronic rivets in there. There's really nothing much to say about this because it's a super detailed figure. She has all her legs and stuff like that. Highly accurate figure. It just sucks this whole wave kind of, you know, fell off. But let's just move on to conclusion and the ratings. Alright, to rate this wave as a whole, honestly, I would give it a solid F minus. Or F plus, one of those two. 85% of these are reuses. Foxy and Mangle are the only new ones. The rest of these are all re-releases of Chica. She's just modified. Bonnie is just re-released but modified. Freddy's re-released but modified. Foxy and Mangle are the only two new ones. I suggest highly not buying this wave. I do not suggest buying this wave at all. Skip out on it. Only buy Withered Bonnie. Only buy Mangle. Foxy if you're really tempted to. Repaint him or something like that. Overall, I would highly not recommend this wave. I highly suggest avoiding this wave as much as possible. I know this is Withered animatronics, but save up for the U2s of Chica, Bonnie, Freddy. Chica, Freddy, and Foxy. If you want to buy Mangle, you can buy Mangle from Funko, because, like, the Funko one is a lot better, honestly, compared to the U2's one. It's not fragile. It doesn't feel like it's going to break in a million pieces if you put pressure on it. Withered Bonnie, on the other hand, if you want to buy him because he's a re-release of a very expensive pop, I'd say go for it. But other than that, I do not recommend this wave at all. Yeah, thanks for watching, bye.
Hello, you Plush here, back with my video. Today we are going over to Five Nights at Freddy's X Smart Golden Freddy version 1, I think, or version 2. I'm not entirely sure on the whole version things. Slumped over Golden Freddy from the FNAF 2 series, which is his basic, you know, design, basically, where he's slumped over and, you know, he has all the wires popping out and stuff like that. Alright, now starting off with tags here, you have the X Smart Global new design tag with X Smart in their socials. You have it says version 2, I think. We have version 1 Golden Freddy and version 2 Golden Freddy. That's cuddly, I'm just gonna call it cuddly and cuter Golden Freddy. And we had a more game accurate Golden Freddy. And on the back you have the adult notes, or just, legal jargon, and it has a thank you in the middle. Xmark Global with some just FNAF 1 renders. Yeah. And so for tag, let's move on to the actual plush. Alright, so before we start off with this video, here's a comparison between Golden Freddy and his in-game counterpart right here. He's in this slumped over position like this Golden Freddy over here, as you can see here. The golds are this one's a little bit brighter, but I do like how that looks. For the plush itself, it uses a very nice yellow fur material, and you have like shoelaced wires coming out, and mine is kind of bent upwards on his eye, but it's fine for the most part. It can be pushed down slightly. Yeah, let's go over his base fur first. He has basically the dark yellow fur for his base layer, basically everything except for his secondary colors. Secondary colors, you have a lighter yellow for the stomach, the paws, and the paws on the hands, the muzzle, and the inside of the ear. Those are all a lighter yellow. You have a black nose and a plastic material. And you have some embroidering. No, not embroidering. You have some stitching and some wires popping out. Stitching for the black and wires popping out. It's just made of a soft material. And the eyes are fully embroidered in black, which is really, really nice. I do like how this looks a lot. You have his teeth fully embroidered on. The mouth being open as well. And you got the holes embroidered on with the endoskeleton popping out as well. Even though he's technically a suit. And she shouldn't have the endoskeleton because it's just an empty suit in game. Well, I mean, the bottom part might be more excusable because it does show a little bit of spring locks in the game. I'll show some reference later. We have more endoskeleton on the arm. On the back, we have more holes on Golden Freddy. As you can see here, you have one on the back and one on the back of the head. 2 small holes right there. Alright, next up we have a velvety, I don't know what the exact term is. It's kind of like just your standard Funko bow tie. I don't know what the exact term is. You have 2 black buttons embroidered on. And for his, I think that's practically his top hat. Mine got kind of a little bit out of whack because like mine has been stuck in containers at times, and it might go back in the container soon, and the container is not too pretty looking in there. So like I've been vacuuming it, and it still has been, getting dust and dirt and grit in there. So there's a little bit of dandruff or whatever on here. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's definitely in the dandruff area. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It could be dust as well. But you have shoelaces for the wires that are popping out, which looks really, really nice. I do like how this looks a lot. But yeah, let's move on to the top hat, then we'll end off Golden Freddy. And alright, now for top hat here, well, now let's go for a head tilt. The head tilt is really, really nice. I do like how it looks. It's like embroidered. No, the pattern is built upwards a little bit, so you have a slight tilt going on, which is really, really cool. And you have a black top hat, which is like more durable than Funko's, I would say. It's like stitched together instead of like glued on, so it has a little bit more structure to it instead of being like, not as firm. But yeah, the top hat is fully stuffed, which is really, really nice. I do like it's a lot better than Foxy, honestly, because like Foxy, mine was kind of mid, honestly, when I got mine, because it was like a permanent tilt. But this one I like a lot. He fits really well with the collection, and I cannot wait to show him what he looks like. I cannot wait to show all what he looks like, honestly. This is one of my favorite plushies in the series, and yeah, I'm not going to be too biased, but yeah, let's get on to the ratings. And alright, now rating Golden Freddy version 2, I think, out of 10. Honestly, I would have to give this a solid 9 or 10 out of 10. I don't know the exact one yet. I think I'm going to go with more of a 10 out of 10. He doesn't need to be extremely detailed. He doesn't need to be extremely, detailed and stuff like that. He's perfectly fine how he is. And I really like how Xmark made the Withered. They basically blew Funko out of water, which is, and not only that, they did it in better quality too. It looks in-game accurate. There's no printing whatsoever on this plushie. It's probably one of our best plushies to date. I would recommend getting this if you can find one that's not sold out. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.